Welcome back to Roster Rescue. Taylor Christensen, we're trying to conserve his identity. We're trying to make sure that no one knows who's actually there. But we are back. We are ready to get into things. Did I even turn on? Pete, say something, because I don't know if I even turned on my headphones.
Say something.
Oh, yes, I did turn them on. Okay. Nice.
Can I say something again?
You already said something.
So, my name is Peter. Thank you for the intro. I do not know very much, Garrett. You know how Rich says I'm right more than I'm wrong? I might just be wrong more than I'm right. But I have to say something.
At least you know yourself.
At least I know myself. But here's the thing.
Okay.
So when you posted that Jalen Knoll video, or I posted, to be honest, when I posted it, that Jalen Knoll video, I saw way too many. Oh, but Tank Dell's coming back. He's going to be wide receiver forward to Tank Dell. People, Tank Dell is not a thing anymore. I'm sorry, but get over it.
There's a good chance he does not play a single snap this season.
We're not expecting him to play.
He's had a terrible injury, like 2 terrible injuries.
It's true.
And do not treat him as a viable asset that is worth a lot right now. So just a PSA on that. I keep seeing that, and I'm like, man, try to move him because he's not going to be worth very much.
I hear you. That's hilarious that people do that. All right. So as you can see in the man, I'm really struggling with like throat nastiness today. But you can see in the upper right hand corner, submit a roster. If you want to get your roster checked out, we can take a look at it, let you know what trades to make, where to move, where to shake, what to do. If you want that to happen, just go ahead and scan that QR code in the upper right-hand corner. Or if you just have a quick trade question, you're like, I don't want to do a whole roster, but I do need to know about this trade. All you have to do is just, when you type in your comment on YouTube, there's a little button right next to it. Looks like a little $sign. All you have to do is click that, put a super chat in there. It doesn't even have to be for a lot, but that'll make sure that we prioritize your questions and get them answered live on the air. We also have a thing called nukes. If you just want us to stop the show and answer your question right away, we can do that, right, Pete?
Yes. And volume warning.
All right. We have a nuke to start off our show today. Awesome. So, very first one here, we've got, now it says Andrew, but this is Brandon, right?
Brandon.
So, this is the crazy thing, is I don't see any of that.
Okay,
it
now
wasn't
it says
on
Brandon.
my screen. Yeah.
We're good. All right. So, Brandon with the nuke to start off our show today. This is a super flex league, not tight end premium, though.
Correct.
Super flex, not tight end premium. This is a 10-team league, start 10. So here we go. Starting off, we are in 4th place in Dynasty mode. We have Jordan Love. Okay, yep, let's look at Contender. Go ahead. That's fine. I do normally do that. I'm throwing you off.
Yes.
And we are in 3rd place in Contender mode. So going back to Dynasty mode here, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford at quarterback. Running back, we have Bijan Robinson, Alvin Kamara, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Javonte Williams. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, Cortland Sutton, Cedric Tillman, a lot of receivers there. And then at tight end, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews. However, no first this year, in 26 or in 2027. So, Taylor, I know you didn't get a chance to talk much in the intro because you were in witness protection, but we're glad you're back out of it. And so let us know, Taylor, what are you doing with this roster?
Well, I had a chance to look this one over because we got the nuke a little bit early, gave us a chance to prep for it. So I always appreciate when people get their orders in and we're able to really dig into them, because this is an interesting league. This league is fascinating. So before we even get into our team, just a little background for everyone. Here's our draft capital. We're currently sitting at Pete, you want to put the cursor right up, 503 points. If you can see that, everyone, in the middle of the screen. Now go to the next best team. 3 times what we're looking at. So even just from us to the next best team, we are at a third as much draft capital. Now go ahead and just show everyone where we at the other end, all the way to the left. 17,000 points. So just so that everyone's aware from a metric standpoint, we are so far behind the 8 ball when it comes to draft capital. So if we jump back to the roster, we'll look at where we're at. But the biggest issue I have, Garrett, is that we're stuck in the middle. We're stuck in the middle for contention. We're looking at below average starters in a 10 team for the quarterback position. Jordan Love, Brock Purdy. Neither one of those guys is a true difference maker. It's not a Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels. Like half the league has a better quarterback than we do at the quarterback spot. So Bijan Robinson, great difference maker. We want him on a 10 team. Everyone else, not difference makers.
I would argue Alvin Kamara still is. For a
difference maker being he's falling into a top 24 running back, or you think he's a top 10 or better performing running back?
Top 5.
I would say top like 16.
So
above average RB2.
Okay, but in a 10-team league, that's below average for an RB2.
Top 15.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So point being, I think you can see it one way or the other. So if you have rose-colored glasses, maybe you're looking to contend. Alvin Kamara looks like he might be able to hold it down. If you're more like me and you're looking at rebuilding or something, Alvin Kamara looks like an asset that's depreciating and might perform poorly to start the season and therefore wouldn't ever get you a great return. So looking at it from both the performance and the dynasty side. Now, if we jump down to our wide receivers, Pete, that's where we have the meat of our team. So we've got Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, great. And then if we're looking at production side, we also add Mike Evans. I'm going to throw Cortland Sutton in there as guys that I think are weekly starters for you. And we'll see what Debo and Devonta Smith look like. But overall, we have great starters. The thing about this league, and it's because he sent it in early, we were able to look into it, they only need 2 receivers to start. So we're choosing to basically flex all receivers, when in reality, we only need to start 2. So there's a way in which we could turn this wide receiver room from average into fantastic, where our 2 starters are just McConkey and Jefferson. And maybe we can turn a lot of this wide receiver depth into either future capital or into running backs that are cheaper but more productive for our team. So can I take Debo Samuel and turn him into Aaron Jones plus? Because Aaron Jones is going to score as many points on the team, in my assessment, as a Debo Samuel. And in a 10-team league, neither one of those guys is a real difference maker. So if you can get Aaron Jones and any sort of draft capital for Debo Samuel, that's the kind of move that I'm looking to make if I'm still contending.
Let me ask you this question. Because you're talking about draft capital, but you're talking about contending. So are you trying to move all in? Because remember, we don't have our first this year or next year. So we're kind of forced into contending.
I think we are forced into contending, and the problem is we're also way behind the 8 ball in contending because there's 2 super teams out there.
So here's what I'm thinking personally. And I look at 2 of our assets. I look at specifically Bijan Robinson, and I look at Justin Jefferson. And as amazing and as sexy as those assets are, part of the reason they're so sexy is because of the longevity. We don't have the luxury of the long game right now. So for us, that really doesn't matter that much as far as contending. So as crazy as this seems, I would actually be open to moving either Bijan or Justin Jefferson, not both. I'd be open to moving one of them if that can net me a bunch of players that can be win now assets that could still be, top 2 Derrick Henrys of the world.
I've got you.
AJ Browns of the world, different guys like that might only have a year, 2, 3 left, but can help me win a ship now. And then if I want to rebuild, I can start my rebuild once I get my picks back in 28.
Team 9, Pete. Jump to 9. We have Derrick Henry, we have Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, and we have Travis Kelce or Evan Ingram. Those are all your vets with high upside for this year. But I'm not moving either Bijan or Justin Jefferson for those 4 players I just named. Are you moving them for Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp,
No,
and I think Ingram over Kelce at this point?
no, and we don't even need it because we have McBride, right?
We have McBride, so we don't need it. We don't need a tight end, but I mean, you're
I'm fine
definitely
with a
not
backup.
getting.
You're getting half the value of one of those players.
Yeah, you're definitely not getting Jefferson or Bijan, but this is the team that you want to go talk to, I think.
But what do they have in draft assets?
So,
although they probably would be less likely to move them. Oh, geez, they're in a
they
bad
only
spot.
have their 27 first.
Wow, they're in a bad spot. Okay, so this could be one of those rare situations that you try to maneuver a 3-team trade. You don't see them very often, but they're fantastic and mythical when they work out. But that being said, what other teams, like of some of these lower tier teams, is there a player or two that could kind of put you over the top? So let's look at like team 8 here or team 10, either one, doesn't matter.
Team 10 has Devontae Adams,
which is a nice piece, but not for a big deal like
they have our
thinking.
first in 2027.
That
they
could
have
be
our
interesting.
2027 first. So we could, if you're working a 3-way trade, you could move Justin Jefferson to this team for Devontae Adams, your 2027 first, and then find up the difference in that value from the other team.
Derrick Henry,
Tyreek Hill, and you pick your third name. And so you're getting a full roster of starters for Justin Jefferson, and you're getting a future 27 first back, your own. So you have some future left. And
so
then
the rebuild could happen sooner if needed.
Yeah. And then this other team is basically giving up a 27 first Devontae Adams, and then they're going to be getting something back. Maybe they get a DK Metcalf or a James Cook type of a player back, something like that. So I think if you want to get crazy with it, those two teams maybe have a way of making that work. If you have an extra bathroom break, Andrew, or Brandon, I should say, and you get a chance to actually like sit down and look at these. Yeah. Or at least reach out to one of them and say, hey, are you guys looking to get better? Are you guys looking to get better? I'm looking to just go all in. You see these two guys at the top that are going to destroy us? I'm going to give it a run. Let me see if I can take them down. You guys help me out. We'll make sure we take care of you and make me a super contender. And then, like you said, Garrett, then we have to tear it down immediately. But without our 26 first or our 27 at this point,
why not go all in?
Yeah, it doesn't do you. It's all the same. You're still going to light your money on fire, but at least you can have fun doing it.
Absolutely. What about teams 6 and 7? What do we got on those teams?
A lot of draft picks on number 6. A lot of draft picks.
Yeah, which I mean really doesn't help us much now. Go back up to the receivers. Yeah, not quite the right pieces. What about team 7? Here's a team that could maybe work. And AJ Brown could get you pretty far in a deal for one of those like top tier assets. What other assets do they have though that could maybe work? Nothing there. What about go back up to running backs?
They have Jaden Daniels or Drake May if you wanted to take a swing on him.
I mean, Daniels is obviously amazing, but at this point, we're trying to split an asset, and Daniels is going to be worth more than Bijan or or Justin Jefferson. Yeah. So I think your best option now is like this is another team that can be looped into a 3-team trade if you want to get very similar production. Just out of one player. AJ Brown's one of the few players that could get you that top 5 type of wide receiver production that's actually affordable. So he's another player. So yeah, loop in this team, loop in, like you might have to make a couple deals in order to make it work, or say, hey, if you can make a trade to get Devontae Adams on your team, then we can make this trade work, or different things like that. You might have to get a little bit creative because I don't know that there's a 1-for-1 team that could make it work with you. But I do think that there's deals to be made in order to make that happen.
Can you go to Team 6 again, Pete? So let me throw this at you. If we go down to their draft picks, they have 102, 103, 105. Would you trade them Bijan or Justin Jefferson to get either 2 and 3 or 2 and 5, knowing that 2 is going to be Travis Hunter?
I honestly, even though picks 2 and 3 are amazing picks, I still don't know that either one of those is truly worth either one of those players. Like, could they be? Yes. Like, I know, like, I love Omarion Hampton. I think he could be amazing. But it would be tough for me to truly give up Bijan and get Travis Hunter and Omarion Hampton. Or, like, I feel like I would still need, even if it's a 26 first, like, I still feel like I would need a little bit on top.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be if we were going to go more for, actually, honestly, that's not really a rebuild move. That's just as much of a contender move with what we're expecting for workload between, you know, assuming that Hunter is a true receiver first, and then Hampton is getting the work that we think. Like, you could still contend and get younger, I guess was my thought. But you'd say you'd still need a 26 first. Is there something you would take less, like the 208 maybe?
I mean, because you're taking all the risk there.
Look where we're at, though, right? Like, if nothing else, we could flip Hunter to the Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Derrick Henry owner. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just wondering, you're talking about splitting assets, so I'm wondering if we can take Bijan, turn him into 2 of the hottest names, and then go from there, I guess.
I mean, it is a 10 team, so 2-8 might get it done because you are still getting some decent players at 2-8 and a 10 teamer. So
you might get Besh.
Yeah, you could get a Besh, you could get a Scattaboo, you could get a Higgins, you could get a it just depends on how all of those guys fall. They're all kind of in a similar tier.
Yeah.
So I would be willing to do it, I think, for 2-8, and then you could take 102 and get like man, I almost
get your 27 first back.
Would you value
102 to get your?
Would you value either one of those above AJ Brown?
Above AJ Brown?
Yeah. Would you rather have AJ Brown or 102 or AJ Brown or 103?
I think I would take the draft pick and take Travis Hunter. But if I was the AJ Brown,
not in this scenario.
No. Well, I'm just saying if I was trading AJ Brown away, if I'm the one sending AJ Brown for 102.
So you would be willing to do that on this team, though? Send away 103 and get AJ Brown.
To do that for the win now, you're saying?
Yeah. Because if we're splitting into draft picks,
yep.
Like I get it that Travis Hunter and Omarion Hampton could help us win this year, but in a 10 team, I'm not counting on it. Who knows how things could go in Jacksonville this year? Who knows how much Najee will or will not be involved in year one? Like, I'm much more apt to trust AJ Brown and then the combination of like Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams, or whatever, something like that.
I think if you want to go that route, I actually like the idea of using Bijan or Justin Jefferson to get as much of that draft capital at the start of the draft as you can. You see how active this league is. Everyone is missing their first, or everyone has 6 first. Like, this league is trading all the time. So if you get the 2 and the 3, you control the top of the draft. Everyone knows who's going 1.
Yep.
You figure out who wants who at 2 and 3. Get as much for them as you can, and then go out and use that to pick up every veteran that you want. So get Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill and whoever else you want, because you've taken the 102 and you split it into, 3 youngish assets. Like maybe you got Lad McConkey, the 202, and a younger running back or something. And now all of a sudden you can trade those guys down the line. So it's like, the end game is to have the best starters production wise.
Yep.
And you're going to take your value and try to maximize it to get to as many,
the best starters
pieces
over
of
for
currency.
the next 2 seasons.
Yep. I like that.
Yep. So you get the general concept of where we're going. Some of these specific trades might work out, might not work out. Maybe you can make a 3-team trade. Maybe you can trade for draft picks that become players and different things like that. But you see the vision of what we're doing here. Without your first in 26 and in 27 currently, you've got to make these assets into the best starting possible lineup you can, even if you have to sacrifice a superstar to do it, because right now, more than likely, without a lot of luck, you're just going to have a hard time beating those top teams at this point. So appreciate it, Brandon. And going to Lopez, you said, how do I get my team on here? All you have to do is scan the QR code in the upper left-hand corner, scan it, or now it's in the upper right-hand corner. It switches. See, Pete got on me about that, but it switches on me. So you never know where it's at, but it's in one of the corners at all times. So go ahead. See, look at that. See this? I feel like I'm being gaslit over here. So go ahead and scan it. Now people can't scan it because they can't find it, and it keeps moving.
It's a game. I'm gamifying things, man. I'm on a whole nother level.
All right. While we give people an opportunity to do that, also a reminder, if you want to get a trade question answered, just $1 or $2, just put it in the super chat. We'll make sure we get it on here on the show. With all of that, let's real quickly touch on the trade that happened today. And the funny thing is, so I have a later start typically on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because I go up to the podcast. So I know that I'm going to be driving at like 1 a.m. typically, coming home. So I sleep in a little bit on Tuesdays and I'm recovering a little bit on Wednesday. So like I didn't get up to like 9:45 today. And the way I found out, what were you shaking your head at?
It must be nice. That's all. And 9:45, like I'm ready to put my child back down for her first nap at 9:45.
But what time did you go to bed?
2 o'clock.
But wait, also Garrett did his duty already with that. He's been through that.
That's true. I already put my kids to bed.
That's true.
For 10 years. Yeah.
Okay,
so
you earned it. Yep, you're 9:45. You roll out of bed. You hear the birds chirping. You open your windows and your fort.
I didn't get home until almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving.
You were sitting. You don't drive that thing. You know that.
That's true. Sometimes I don't drive it. Often I don't drive it. About 70% of the time I do not drive my car. Anyway, all that being said, the way I found out about this trade that happened today was Pete's title headline for the show. And I was like, George Pickens on the Cowboys. Is Pete like doing some weird projection that he wants us to do on the show? Like, what would happen if George Pickens was on the Cowboys? And so I'm like, that's so random. And I was like, wait, maybe it's not random. Maybe I should check Twitter and see. And sure enough, George Pickens was traded to the Cowboys. So that was a really long buildup to say, what do you guys think about this deal?
I love it. I think it's great for everyone involved, honestly. The reason why I say that is because CeeDee Lamb has been getting an insane amount of target share, which is great. And the other targets that are going out have been not efficient at all. He hasn't had a lot of supporting help with that. So I don't think Pickens is going to eat into the target share, but he might actually pick up some of these other first downs or like a long reception down the field that he still gets tackled before the goal line. So now Lamb can come in and actually get a touchdown instead of them turning the ball over on downs. So I can see how this actually keeps him afloat right where he's been. Maybe the stats change in the number of receptions, but the yardage total goes up. Like, who knows how that looks? But I don't think it hurts Lamb. I think Pickens, it's an upgrade. He has a quarterback now. You look at it for the Steelers, I think it helps Metcalf because now you don't have Pickens there. And I don't think Pickens was going to do great in Pittsburgh. So if I have any of those three receivers, I'm either feeling just as good about Lamb, I'm feeling great about Pickens, or I'm actually putting DK Metcalf on the trade block and hoping someone sends me a first and something for him.
Yeah, I agree. And then you look at what this does for Dak Prescott too. I mean, Dak Prescott now has another legitimate option. I mean, he had to stare down CD Lamb at times last year, like where it was just like, where else do I go with this football? Like, there's nobody else to catch the ball right now. Ferguson's hurt, Cooks is hit and miss. Like, I have nowhere else to go. So this gives him another asset out there to throw the football to. Plus, he got some interior help in the offensive line there. So Dak Prescott too, another big winner from all of this offseason movement. I think where he's going to be even better. And he's and I know you and I have talked about it, Taylor, even on this show. But Dak Prescott seems to be one of the more underrated quarterbacks year after year for fantasy football purposes. I mean, this is a guy that I think at least twice for sure, if not three times, has been a top 3 fantasy quarterback. So we know the skill set is there. And he was on pace to like break records through the first 6 games one year. He was on pace for like 7,000 passing yards. And then he got hurt. But I just think even with this bump, I don't think it's going to be enough of a bump. And if I'm a contender, he's one of the easiest contender buys for me right now in a super flex league where, yes, just give me Dak Prescott all day and we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would actually, I'll push you just a little bit. If you're a true contender, say your backup quarterbacks are Fields and Anthony Richardson. So the upside is there, but lots of risk on both of them. Are you going to acquire Dak Prescott on top of those guys? Like, do you feel confident enough about Dak that you'd rather have him than try to juggle which two of those guys is going to have a peak week that particular matchup?
So you're basically saying, like, would I trade Dak Prescott for Fields and Richardson? Like, what side would I rather have?
No, like if you have Fields and Richardson, and let's
And those
say
are my
the other
quarterbacks
team
2 and
doesn't,
3.
yeah, let's just say they don't want him. They're your 2 and 3 though. Would you want to acquire Dak still and start Dak
Yes.
every week over
Yes.
having to figure out? And I am too. So it's like if those are your backups, go get Dak anyway, because you have the consistency. Even if his peak isn't the same peak, or you can't project it because the passing numbers just don't make sense, but somehow they still end up there. I'm with you. I think that Dak Prescott is probably like the number one guy that I'm looking at on people's rosters when I'm trying to do some sort of restructuring from quarterbacks. I'm either trying to go up to Dak from, if I've got a Russell Wilson, Derek Carr combination, can I figure out a way to split them with a second and get Dak? Or can I take a Jordan Love and get a 27 first and something smaller to get Dak Prescott? Like, that's where I'm at these days with Dak.
Absolutely. Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson right now in Pittsburgh. Which direction are you going? If you get, a team has both of them and they're willing to throw either one in as a cherry on top of a trade, which one would you prefer?
If it's a regular lineup league, I'm going to choose Roman Wilson. And if it's a best ball league, I'm going to choose Calvin Austin.
Fair and succinct. Makes sense to me. Adam asked, do you guys follow up on teams you recently reviewed? I mean, it's a good question. We've had people do multiple roster rescues for the same roster. We've had several people do that. As far as just like a true follow-up, you know what? Normally, I would say like, yeah, we got quite a bit to get to and things like that. But you know what? Why not? Adam, I'm feeling generous. Go ahead and put it in. If this is a roster you already had done, but you want a little follow-up, a little follow-up consultation, Why not? Scan the get with Peter.
Scan the
email
QR
him.
code.
Yeah.
And buy.
Yes. Go ahead and buy one more. No, get with Peter, and since you already bought one,
just
why
drop
not?
your sleeper username and league name in the chat. But the other thing is like if we've reviewed your team before, I usually try our best to answer your questions in the chat. Like for example, Dane, what do you think about his draft recently? Milrow is also at 206.
Nice. All right, so Ward at 106, Hunter at 106, which is great. I usually don't see him go outside of the top 5. And then Emeka Book at 109, 112 for Caleb Johnson. Traded 201 for Tracy. 209, I got Tootin. 112 Ferguson, and then 307 Fannin. Dude, overall I love that. The only one that I'm like even about is I don't love trading 201 for Tyrone Tracy, but it's partly because I think Cam Scattaboo long term is going to be the answer there. I think Tyrone Tracy will still have a role. So that would have been the only one that I didn't like, but 209 is a really good range to get Tootin. 106 for Hunter is fantastic. Love getting Caleb Johnson at 112. Like I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, Milrow at 206 is good value too. He said he got Tracy or he gave up 201 for Tracy and Tootin is who he got at 209. So do you feel different if it was you could have had Scattaboo or Tracy and Tootin? Does that change things for you?
Oh, I missed that part of it.
And 209 for Tracy?
No.
No, he gave up 201.
201 and he gets Tracy and 209. That's much more even. I feel much better about that overall.
Yeah.
I would rather have Scattaboo, but I think Tracy and Tootin, I mean, it's similar coin flip that you're looking at. So I feel better about that knowing that. So
yeah, I think it's a teardrop from 201 to 208, but if you can get a move up in the same round and add a starting running back, that's a slam dunk for me.
All right. Zach with the super chat. He said it's a 1 QB, 12 team league. I have 103. Ashton Genty and Hunter confirmed are going 1-2. What kind of value would it take for you to move from 1-3? So this is basically for sure either Ward or Hampton, which are two very, very valuable assets right now.
Oh, it's 1 QB.
It would take. Oh, it's 1 QB. Oh, then it's definitely Hampton. With that, I love Hampton. I think Hampton's going to be a fantastic player in the league. It's an amazing landing spot long term with the Chargers. Like I love Omarion Hampton here. It would take like let's say in future draft capital, it would take honestly. I don't even know if a 26 first and 27 first would do it unless I felt supremely confident that those were going to be early. Like if they're just mid to late, I don't know that's enough for me. Would that be enough for you?
That would be what I would expect to get the conversation going, and I would probably not accept that, but I would expect to pay that 100%. Like if I was going to go to someone and try to get 103, I am already banking that they're going to want both those picks. So I think it's okay to ask for that and something. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. So the question is, what would that something be? Is it a 203? Is it both seconds in 26 and 27? Like what makes up that difference?
I just traded for the 103 in the league.
And a 1 QB or super flex?
It's super flex, but it was for Omarion Hampton. Like it doesn't in theory. So
shouldn't be too much different.
I gave up a 26 first, a 26 second, a 204, 205, Olave, and Kincaid.
Wow, that was a lot to process. Okay, wait. So you
got
103. You gave up what again? Say it.
I gave up a 26 first, a 26 second, Olave, Kincaid, and 204 and 205. Heck of an overpay.
Pete, you do definitely like to overpay on trades. It's the Pete Bartosky special. But I actually don't hate it.
Because Olave and Kincaid aren't touching my starters. And it
all comes down to how you feel about Olave, really, is what this trade comes down to.
It's about what could you have done with those assets instead? What else could you have turned all of those pieces into? And the answer is Derrick Henry, which is the same production as Hampton, and a couple of youngish assets to have to build with instead of just Hampton. So I guess my thing is like, you had this money and you gave it all.
I am not asking for like your thoughts on the trade right now. I am saying
Pete's like,
this is what someone gave up. That's like, true. I know objectively this is a massive overpay, and this is what you should be looking for.
That's
right.
True. That's
like,
true.
Go ask me, the blonde. Send me the trade offer.
I've never heard of a dude being a blonde. Like, even though obviously they are, I've never thought of it in those terms.
Wow.
Yeah,
no, that's a good point, Pete. That's a good point.
Your
and
Tesla
you know what?
Showing.
It's also good to know that like you're fine with the trade. So it's like that's great. But to get back to Zach's super chat, I would just say, Garrett, if you needed one player, are you gonna go out and give this up for Devon Achane 1-to-1? Would you just swap Hampton for Achane?
I actually think I have Hampton over Achane at this point. So I would rather Hampton, I think.
Okay. That would have been my one thought, is I would take the proven commodity maybe in Achane.
Sure.
But
sure. Yeah, I get it. I get it. There's just that offense worries me. DC said if we nuked pre-draft but want a follow-up bomb but not a full nuke, what should we do? I love this in like military terms. This is fantastic. You could do just a regular roster rescue. It's less expensive than the full nuke. So if you're just wanting a bomb, not a full nuke, you can go ahead, scan the QR code right now, DC. You're still getting the exact same thing. The only difference is nuke says, screw you guys, I'm moving to the front, I want mine answered right now. Or it's on a show where we're like, we don't have time for any more, and you're like, yes you do, here's a nuke. That's the only time that affects anything. Otherwise, it's the same type of analysis that you're going to be getting with just a roster rescue. So yes, if you want to do that, that's the best way to go about that. All right, Pete, we got
also really fast on that trade that I did.
Mm-hmm.
It was also a standard league and non-tight end premium. So
that does help.
Hampton in a standard. I just wanted that. So
it's not PPR either. It's like standard.
It's standard scoring. So Kincaid and Olave for me, I'm like,
that's
no value.
Fine. That's Pete. That's great. That's probably the best deal they're gonna find for that. And you're right. You're just giving up mid-level stuff. So
yeah. Plus my team's super good.
Flex.
DC, I don't know if you heard my comment. I feel bad. You did a super chat to ask the question. I don't know if you heard what I just said, but if you scan the QR code, you can just do a regular roster rescue. You don't have to do a nuke to get it on the show. Nukes are simply just, hey, you guys have a lot of other stuff going on, but like, I want you to answer me right now and cut the line, basically. Or if it's in a show where we're like, we don't have any time for any more questions, you can nuke and still get your question in that show. But otherwise, it's the same type of analysis on your rosters. So I apologize. I feel bad that you didn't hear that in time.
Hey, if you put in a trade question, DC,
we'll free trade question with that.
Well, no, he paid $5, but
he already paid it, but now it's free. It's all about how you twist things. You know, it's all about, you got to be a spinster.
No spin
okay.
Zone.
All right. This is just a one quarterback PPR league, I'm pretty sure.
Are you asking
Yeah, it
me
looks
or
like
telling me?
PPR, yep.
Yep, just one. DC says it's a tip. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. All right. Josh Allen, Bo Nix, Justin Fields. So obviously we're great at quarterback in a 1 QB league. Brees Hall, Travion Henderson. We got him in the draft. James Cook, Brian Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson. Wide receivers, we have Marvin Harrison, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Chris Olave. And then at tight end, we have Tyler Warren, Mark Andrews. And then picks wise, we've got our firsts and seconds. No real trade movement on picks, it looks like, in this league. So right now we are in third place in Dynasty mode. Contender mode, we are in fourth. So Taylor, very similar situation to the team that we just kind of covered. A team that's like right there, but isn't quite one of the top teams. So Taylor, what are you doing here? Is this the time where this team is close enough that you're using some of that future draft capital to kind of go all in right now?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to start the season as feeling as a strong contender. Like, I'm planning for the playoffs, looking at this roster right now. Not that I can take down the Goliaths that are likely going to be there at this stage, but I think we have plenty of production to get us out the gates strong. We're going to have some backup guys. I don't mean backups long term, but like Henderson. Is he going to be a starter for us week 1? No. Do we need him to be? Absolutely not. We have plenty of running backs there. Pete, can you scroll down to our wide receivers? So I'm a little bit hesitant at first looking at our wide receiver room because this is a 10-team league. And, normally you'd want to have
It's a lot of uncertainty on this group.
we have Marvin Harrison. We have Garrett Wilson. Those are like high tier dynasty assets, but the production isn't quite there. So I think I'm going to look to move one of these guys of anything and try to get more production for myself. So I would prefer Garrett Wilson. Marvin Harrison probably would get you more, even though his production is less. Right now we're in contender mode, so it looks like there's a bigger difference. But
switch to dynasty mode real quick, Pete.
Yeah, so Marv is over Garrett for our brand as well. So I think I would look to move one of those guys and get, like you mentioned, AJ Brown earlier. Can I get AJ Brown and another great starter? Can I get?
Let's look at teams like 7, 8, 9? Like what do those teams have? Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson would definitely put you over the top.
Yeah. I don't know if we.
Right.
I mean, you could give up Marv to get to Justin Jefferson.
Well, let me ask this. Normally, a guy like Justin Jefferson is untouchable. You do have your 26 first and second. 26 first and second, but also your 27 first and second. Would this be one? Because I normally don't make big deals like this typically. Would this be one of those scenarios where you try to go all in and say, like, what does it take to get Justin Jefferson?
If you're willing to move Garrett Wilson or Marvin Harrison, I don't think it takes much more than your 26 first and second. Like, I think that's probably what
you're try to get away with Olave and give all of that on top.
I think I want to go. Can you just jump back to our roster for a second, Pete? So I think I'm going to try and shed one of these running backs if I can do that. I think I want to try and give them one of these running backs for half or more than half of the value, and then see if they like Flowers and Olave, right? Flowers, Olave, and one of these running backs. And then I can keep my future draft picks for injuries that strike. I can pick up a Derrick Henry and a third in the season.
So what running back are you looking to do? Because realistically, we kind of need those top 3 guys.
So we have Brian Robinson
real
to
shallow
get us
at
the
running
first 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks is how I see Brian Robinson. I don't see anyone unless they sign Nick Chubb and he comes in and looks great. Like, it looks like he's going to get, I guess Dobbins could still land there. So there's a little bit of risk there, but I feel good that we can get away with Breece Hall, Brian Robinson as our 1-2. Plus, we have Ramondre to go with Henderson. So we can start Ramondre, see how it goes, plug in Henderson after that. But we're gaining Justin Jefferson on top of either Olave or Flowers. And I think the points difference from, let's say, James Cook down to either Robinson or Stevenson versus the points from Olave or Zay Flowers to Justin Jefferson. Like, how is that balancing out? Because to me, I'm going to take that risk on and then hope Henderson, Breece Hall, and then, I can make it work from there. I can find more running backs. I can go get a Derrick Henry with my 26 first and something. You know what I mean? Like, I can get more than Derrick Henry for that.
If that's your plan, if you're going to go out and get another running back, I'm okay with that then. That was just my worry is like, are we going to cut off our nose to spite our face? Like, are we going to make us really good at receiver only to not have enough depth at running back and one injury puts us in the grave?
Yeah, unless it's a really stagnant league, I pretty much don't look at how does this leave my roster when I'm making trades. I pretty much just look at the trade for the most part. When I'm in season, when it's preseason, it's different.
So you have that luxury now, but you don't have that luxury in August, September.
That's true. That's true. But this time of year, I'm not as concerned about having like 4 starting running backs if I have future draft capital, because I know I can go get one if I have to. If I give up my future draft capital, now I have to rely on people who want my players. And that's a lot harder because there's fewer people interested in your players than there are usually in your draft picks.
We would be fine with either one. Like if you were able to get a deal done, and I'm not saying this will get done, but where you either deal Olave or Flowers and then you give your first and seconds in 26 and 27, I would be willing to do that for Justin Jefferson. Now, if they want both, then it's probably more like, okay, you get Flowers and Olave, and then you get one of like a first and second, not both the first and seconds.
I would offer my 26 first and both of them. That's great. That's a slam dunk. I would take that.
Yeah, I would love that as an opportunity. So see how far those two guys get you. But like Taylor said, maybe James Cook is another piece, which James Cook, I'm okay with getting out from under right now. Everybody's a little bit higher on him right now because he survived the draft. So things look really good. But let's not forget, there is still this contract dispute brewing here. If he dares hold out, every time that has been bad news for the running back that season. It has never worked out well. And even if he does well this year, he's going to be a free agent more than likely. And part of the reason James Cook is so good is because he is in Buffalo. So that's the tricky part is if he goes somewhere else, I don't think he's getting the same type of workload on a different team.
Yeah. Yeah. He's earned the trust for some of those touches that he didn't have when he started there because of his profile.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, I have a challenge for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Ready for this?
Ready.
There are 6 Steeler wide receivers on the depth chart. Name 5 of them.
Okay. Well, the first 3 will be easy. We've got DK Metcalf, we've got Roman Wilson, and we've got Calvin Austin.
Yep.
So those 3 are pretty easy. I don't think Allen Robinson is still on that roster.
And this is pre-Allen Lazard trade.
I think Bobby Trees is on their team, right?
Yes.
Robert Woods.
Yep.
Yeah. Good
so
call.
How many are we at now?
That's 4. We need
more.
one more to get to 5 of the 6. There's got to be. They didn't draft a late round guy this year, right?
They have a bunch of people from other teams, I think. They just kind of collected them. They got a couple of guys from the Atlanta guy. Who's the Atlanta guy?
2 people you would use to describe as maybe sneaky athletic.
Okay, so
there was a guy on the Bears who went to Atlanta, and then I think he's now at the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I can't think of his name.
Hunter Renfrow didn't sign there, right?
Scotty Miller. Is it Scotty Miller?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Well done.
But I don't think that didn't happen with Scotty. He was from the
Wasn't he
Bucks,
at the
wasn't he?
Bears?
He started with the Bears. He got drafted by the Bears.
Oh, he did, and then he went
Yeah.
to the Bucks.
Oh, he's been everywhere.
Wow.
I don't think Van Jefferson's on there anymore, right? Or
Nope.
is he?
No, Van
I didn't
Jefferson's
think he was.
gone. Yep. So yeah, let's see.
get to Peter's
There was-
question here.
Really fast, because DC did ask a question.
Oh, okay.
How are we feeling about? So we kind of talked about it, but DK Metcalf, is he a difference maker on your team this year? Is he top 15, top 12?
If Aaron Rodgers is there, like I get there's a lot of hate around Aaron Rodgers and somewhat deservingly so. But even with Devontae Adams being there most of the season, Garrett Wilson was a wide receiver 1 this past year. So there is still a very good path for DK Metcalf to be a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1. If you want to trade him, I have no problem with that. If you're like, look, there's too many personalities there right now, and you can get, value where, you think you're going to be getting the, wide receiver 15 type value, then absolutely, that's great. That's amazing. But if not, then just hold on to him on a contender. And I think you're assuming Aaron Rodgers goes there, you're going to be getting top 18 type production this year.
Okay, so I have a couple wide receivers in mind.
Okay.
And I'll ask, who would you rather have for this season only, let's just say.
Okay.
DK or Mike Evans?
For just the season,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Mike Evans. Who'd you go with, Taylor?
I would go Mike Evans because as long as he's healthy, I feel good about starting him. And if he's hurt, he's not in my lineup, so he's not hurting me really. I can start someone else.
That one was an easy one. That one was a gimme. DK Metcalf or Cooper Kupp?
I will go. I'm going to go DK.
I'm going to go with Kupp on that one. I feel like if Seattle brought him in, they have a plan to use him this year.
DK Metcalf or Jerry Jeudy?
DK Metcalf. We're assuming he has a quarterback.
There is a quarterback at the very least.
Yeah. Well, even if it's Mason Rudolph, that might be better than whatever Cleveland has for Jerry Jeudy.
I'm actually going to stick with Jerry Jeudy on this one. And I get it. The quarterback situation is a hot mess. But there's no other receivers. Jerry Jeudy got bumped down kind of artificially this offseason because we're all assuming that Travis Hunter was going there. Jerry Jeudy was a wide receiver 1 last year. Well, he was either 12
with
or 13.
With Jameis.
With Jameis, and that is part of it. But Joe Flacco's a similar type quarterback. He's a gunslinger that's gonna throw it downfield, make big plays. We saw him fit really well in the Cleveland Browns offense a couple years ago when they went to the playoffs with him. So I'm gonna go with Jerry Jeudy.
Last one. DK Metcalf or Rome Odunze?
I mean, for this year,
I'm gonna go with
DK easy.
Metcalf. Yeah.
Long term, though, I would probably go Dunze long term.
Okay. How do you scan it? I'm not phone savvy with your camera, Michael.
You.
We also have a link in the description.
I was gonna say, what happens if someone's on their phone watching us? How do you?
We have.
You
a
do the
in
link.
Description.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, if
All
you go to www.dynastynerds.com and then go to our store page, you can access it there.
All right. This is a terrible business model long term. In the future, I'm going to say no, but I'm feeling generous today. I will allow some follow-ups today. I can't promise we'll get to everybody that wants one, but I'm willing to do a couple. You all right with that, Taylor?
I shipped the kids off for the afternoon, so I'm free. Let's do it.
Cowboy Bebop, what positions? Huh?
Just 1 second. So we're doing Peter and CD's rosters, DC's.
Yeah.
Or what are we doing? Okay.
So DC asked about Josh Allen trade, right?
So drop your sleeper username and league names in the chat so I can put them in while we're answering Cowboys.
To be clear, this is not something we're going to do regularly.
And this is not going to be a full-on roster review, but we'll look at you, team.
If you have a specific thing, we'll look at it. Yeah, I think you asked about Josh Allen. We can do that for sure.
All right. Cowboy Bebop, what 3 positions would you choose to draft from in a startup? Super flex, 4 flex spots, no tight end, 3rd round reversal. So you do not need a tight end in this, which is interesting. I've not played in a league like that yet. I would like to at some point. Also, I keep forgetting to do this. I keep mentioning it to Pete. Guys, right now we have like 60 some people in here watching, but we only have 13 likes on the stream. So while you're in there, if you could just do us a favor and like the stream, it does go a long way.
And one of those likes are from me.
Yeah. So really only 12. So if you could go in there, like the stream, greatly appreciate it. With this, so for me, I really look at tiers heavily when trying to decide where I'm going to pick startup wise. For me right now, there is a tier after the first 2 quarterbacks. So I feel like Josh Allen and Jaden Daniels are in a tier of their own. So if I'm a guy that I really want that elite quarterback, I'm taking one of the top 2 spots. I don't really care between the 2, so I'll probably take the 2nd spot and have 1 spot earlier in the 2nd round. But yes. That being said, my favorite spot personally is to I like being at the end because I like to be able to get myself 2 elite assets. And right now, especially how drafts are falling, you can get yourself 2 elite assets. You could get yourself at pick 11 or 12. You could get yourself a Bijan Robinson and then turn around and get Ashton Genty. You could get yourself Malik Neighbors. You could get Justin Herbert and turn around and get yourself you're getting 2 really good guys at the turn. And then it comes back to you in the 3rd round of the first pick of the 3rd round. So in 3rd round reversals right now, I really like being at the end there unless I really want one of those quarterbacks. Appreciate you guys. All of a sudden we've shot up like 10 plus likes. So appreciate it. Taylor, what about you? Where do you like to be?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take the last spot. That way I get the first pick in the 2nd round and I get the first pick in the 3rd round. And I'm going to look to trade back probably, honestly, if I have those 2 picks, unless if value falls to me, and I mean value is in my top 10 guys, if 2 of my top 10 guys fall to me at the 12, 13 picks, I'm making both picks. But for me right now with where I have everyone, I don't want Malik Neighbors and Amon-Ra as much as I want Malik Neighbors a 3rd and a 2027 first. Like I would rather trade that 2nd pick.
And by 30 means Justin 3rd round pick in the startup, not a 3rd round rookie draft.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned Justin Herbert. I would probably trade, instead of taking Herbert, I would probably trade either back in the 2nd to try to take Drake May, or just fall into the 3rd and take like a Kyler Murray or something and see how much I can I get a 3rd and 5th startup pick for my 2nd, something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's where I like to be.
We got DC's team loaded.
All right, DC. So we are going back, taking a look at this team. Dynasty mode. This is a 1 QB league. Dynasty mode, this team is in 9th. Contender mode, where are we at? We are in 8th. So we are still towards the back end of this league either way. JJ McCarthy, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones at quarterback. Running backs, we've got Saquon Barkley, Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, Jordan Mason, Woody Marks. Wide receivers, Romo Dunze, Jalen Waddle, Emeka Buka, DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams. Tight ends, we've got Kyle Pitts, Mason Taylor. Picks wise, we do not have our first in 2026. So, where is our first round pick, Pete? Do we know?
No, I'm looking right now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll look and see. But Taylor, I know the specific question was about Josh Allen, correct? Or is that a different team?
Oh, that was a different team.
That was Peters.
Yes.
Okay. So for you, knowing where we're at, obviously to me, we long term, it won't likely be a good time to do it right now. But as we get closer to the season or in season, we're definitely looking at moving Saquon Barkley, and we're definitely looking at moving Mike Evans, correct?
Yeah, and we're probably looking to move Jalen Waddle as soon as he pops, right? He was on our team. I think anytime that we have a big week from our guys, we're going to actively be sending trades, not putting them on the trade block and seeing if someone gets back to us. But in order for this roster to really take shape, I think we need to be capitalizing on those peak moments, sending out offers to people. So knowing what we're looking for. And I think the answer for me, Garrett, 2027 first, or we're looking at players that we can flip quickly. I don't want to have anyone on this roster by week 4 if I can help it. Like if we can get our 26 first back, that's where I'm headed. Are you going to try and contend with this team this year, or are you going to try to get the 26 first back?
So it's interesting. So even though I'm curious where this team is in dynasty mode, because in contender mode, because dynasty mode, the team that has our pick is one of the lower tier teams. But where's their team? Seventh. Okay, so they think they're contender based on a lot of the players on their team: Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy. Like this team is the perfect team to trade with because that one, they have your pick, but two, they think they're a contender. I desperately want my own pick back, but I also am really interested in their 27 or 28 picks, because I do not think that this team is built to be very good long term. This team is built to try and win it this year. And if you give them Saquon, they probably will. I shouldn't say they probably will, but they are going to be at least pushing for it. And they're going to be close. But by 27, 28, this team is going to fall off a cliff.
What are we going to give them? We're going to make them a trade offer. This is how we're going to review this. We're going to get you your 26 first back and their 27 first. Let them keep their own 26 first. So 26 first for us, their 27 first. What are we going to give them from our team, Garrett? Pete, put us back to.
Honestly, to get my own back, I think Saquon Barkley. Like,
you're going to give up Saquon straight up for both of them, or would you look? Pete, can you go to our team for a minute?
Yep.
Or would
I would
you
give Saquon for both of them?
Okay, I was thinking maybe we'd want to. They have those receivers that are also old. Maybe they would be interested in.
We can add in Mike Evans.
Oh, yeah. Just add in Evans.
We can add in Evans, but ask for more back.
Right.
The side note, though, really fast, the most important thing with the Saquon Barkley trade is to include the tweet that Garrett set out a couple days ago when he was trying to trade Barkley. Just include that. Just say, hey, this big name Dynasty guy says
and
that.
Just don't have him read all the comments.
Yeah. I would definitely do what you just described and include Mike Evans, because it will inflate them for this year. So you're going to get full value. And I don't expect Mike Evans to hurt the 27 first that you're collecting from his team. I think by the time 27 comes around, he'll be an unreliable starting fantasy wide receiver. So won't hurt you.
So you would just throw it in
No, I
to
would
get
ask for
2 things.
more, but I would want him to get both. Like I'd send the offer with both. Get him thinking like, "Hey, I'm really going to be
I'm
competing
gonna
if
win
I
it.
get this trade done." Yeah.
Yeah.
Go do that. That was worth the super chat. If you get that done, I think you have some more light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's head over to
Okay.
Peters.
Yeah.
Not Pete Bartowski, not Dynasty Shuck.
Are we sure? Like he maybe just has a bunch of like ghost
Pete,
accounts.
I need your username. I don't need the league ID. Side note, everyone in the chat right now, I don't know what to do with the league ID if you send it to me. It's just a bunch of numbers to me.
Unless it's on NFL.
That's true. But
all we need is the sleeper, your sleeper username. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Pete will dox how many leagues you're in. He will announce to the world. So if you have loved ones around you and this is loud enough for them to hear, make sure that they already know you're in 55 leagues before Pete spills the beans.
55 leagues, 55 hot dogs, 55 hamburgers. Oh, Gary Barnage. That's it.
I love the
Gary
throwbacks.
B. Good old Gare Bear.
I was playing Dynasty when he was, I had him on some teams. I had him in some best ball leagues back in the day.
Who was your first ever? All right, for both of you guys, real quick, while Pete's getting Pete's up. Who was your first ever fantasy football draft pick?
Julio Jones.
Julio. Yeah, I'm sure you probably called him that when you drafted him too.
I don't know if this is accurate, but I know that my first fantasy league was an auction, and I know that it was Jamal Charles. I got Jamal Charles is like his second year, something like that. Whenever that was, I remember vividly getting told that I put too much money down for him. But I think, if I remember correctly, that worked out okay.
I like it. Sean Alexander. Sean Alexander was my first ever.
Nice. 5 touchdowns.
Draft pick.
Did you have him in that Monday night?
I had him that the year before the Madden cover. That was the year I drafted him, and
nice.
He balled out, and then he fell off the face of the earth. But it was a great season.
Is he okay?
Literally. No, he's not.
Some people will think you're serious.
Some people might think the earth is flat. All right. We good to go to Pete's, or are we doing this super chat?
Christian dropped a $2 super chat. Let's
super chat. All right, trade 210 and a 27-second for 2-4, and I got golden. Was that bad? Christian, was that bad?
I don't think that's bad because I think you can swap golden out for a 26 first at some point. So if you're sending a 210 and a 27 second for a future first, I'm fine with that. My issue is if you hold golden thinking he's going to be a wide receiver 1 for you for the next 2 years or something, I wouldn't expect that. So if you can turn him into a future first, I like it. If you're banking on him to be your starting wide receiver 2, I haven't gotten to that point with Green Bay's offense that I feel confident about golden as a productive starter, but I do think he's a hot name that you can get more value for than what you paid.
There you go.
Do you agree, Garrett, on that?
I'm fine with it. I don't love it. I just don't love golden personally.
Yeah.
But he was a first round pick. So I don't think it's a bad move. Anytime you can move a 210, which for the most part, 210 is in a completely different tier. So yes, I like it ish. I just don't love golden personally.
Yeah. In my drafts, 210 is Shadur Sanders. In almost all of my drafts, 210 is Shadur Sanders.
That's crazy because almost none of my leagues he's been going until the third or later.
Can I say something really fast, Garrett?
Sure.
How far Cam Scatterbo fell in our draft was so stupid. Because I was trying to trade up too. I
was very vocal about how hard I was trying to trade up. Every pick, I was like, all right, sent you a couple offers. All right, sent you a couple offers. hey, guess what?
No
You also
one-
got a couple offers, and he just kept falling, and nobody would say yes. And then I'm sitting there at the Dynasty Nerds podcast, and Matt O'Hara's like, oh, Cam Scatterboot just fell to 211. Click. I was like, Matt, I have been
Drove me
trying for like all day to trade up to get Cam Scatterboot ever since like 2.5, and no one will do it. And
He
now
fell
you're just
to
like, oh yeah, he just
211.
fell to me at 211. Ticks me off so much.
Jay
I love
Cutler's
it.
legal team. This guy got the names.
I
He's got
love
all
it.
the good names.
All right.
Okay.
Right now, contender
Just a
wise,
second.
we are
Oh, yeah.
That's
okay.
fine. We're
We
in
can look
11th.
at Contender first.
dynasty mode. We are in 9th. So, similar situation where not in a great spot overall. The biggest question is around Josh Allen. What do you do with Josh Allen on a team like this? So, Josh Allen, Bryce Young, Sam Darnold are the quarterbacks. James Conner, Brian Robinson, Jalen Wright. Wide receivers, Marvin Harrison, George Pickens. Keep scrolling, Pete.
Sorry.
That's right. Khalil Shakir, Jalen McMillan, Darnell Mooney, and then Goddard, who is about to sign a new deal. Brenton Strange. And then we have the 104 and 108. So what to do with Josh Allen? Taylor, is this one of those rare scenarios where you sell Josh Allen?
Well, if we sell Josh Allen, we pretty much have to sell everybody else that isn't named Marvin Harrison. I mean,
Probably.
our running backs are not worth keeping if we're getting rid of Josh Allen. I'm not keeping George Pickens if I can help it. I don't know if he's going to be reliable 2-3 years from now.
What's the pick value for Pickens that you're looking for? Like 109.
No, I would take less than that.
Like 112?
Probably 111. Probably. Okay. I would, if I could swap him out for Ibuka, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Okay. So if we're going to move Josh Allen, it's got to be for future capital. I don't see a reason for us to move him and tear down into a quarterback and try to fill out this roster for production's sake. I don't think we're close enough. And the other part of it is if we sell them for players, you're not going to find a much more insulated asset right now than Josh Allen. So unless you're going to use him to get picks that will appreciate in value and become worth more than what they, the package looks like now, I don't think we're going to be able to find enough players in a package that we can rely on to appreciate the same way. So who's on team 2? They have Love and Stafford, great, and they have a lot of capital. So what does their draft picks look like? Oh, I see. So they have 101 and 105. So let me ask you, Garrett, is this team is going to be good for a few years. Would you even entertain 105, their 26 first, their 27 first, and something for Josh Allen? Is that even going to get you talking to this manager?
I want 101. If I'm selling Josh Allen, I want an elite asset back. So I think for me, 101 would probably have to be on the table.
Who are their running backs, Pete? So we could give them James Conner.
Yeah,
so that
they're
they
going to
don't
want
feel
Ashton
so
Genty.
thin. So we could give them James Conner so they don't feel as thin. So we offer them Josh Allen, James Conner, and we ask for the 101 and Jordan Love, the 101 and Malik Neighbors. What are we asking for if we want the 101 and because
I would want the 101 and I'd want their 26 and 27 first.
That's enough. I mean, not that that's nothing, but that would be enough for you from a contender. This is a pretty good team, probably.
I mean, you're getting Ashton Genty. So you're getting Ashton Genty and 2 firsts for Josh Allen. It would be close.
Okay. That might be worth it. I mean, it would be
It'd be
worth
close.
it from our standpoint. It might be worth it from their standpoint to actually try it. Who knows?
Yeah. So yes, but long story short, unfortunately, you've got to move Josh Allen. It's tough. He's an elite asset, but that's the only way you're going to be able to turn around this team, I think.
Yeah. On a slightly different note, I was able to acquire Josh Allen this last.
Ooh. What did you have to pay?
You're not gonna like it.
You're not gonna like it.
I mean, you're gonna like it. I hope they're not listening. So I got Josh Allen, Isaiah Pacheco, and Ramondre.
Wow.
Stevenson. And he got
Pacheco and Stevenson.
Yes, I got Allen, Pacheco, Stevenson, and I gave up Brock Purdy, Anthony Richardson, and his own 26 first. That's it.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
And so it's because it was his 26 first, leveraged it into a rebuild.
Sure.
He didn't need Pacheco and Stevenson. He also had Javonte Williams. So I said, hey, pick the two you don't want, throw them in there, and I'll do it. And he was happy to do it. So you never know what you might get with some of these trade offers.
You never know. Somebody tried to do a similar thing to me today where like, realistically, why did you get Pacheco and Stevenson? Like, you shouldn't have, but you got it thrown in. Like, somebody tried today, just a cold offer, and it was a quick reject. But he tried to offer me a 26 second and third for Breece Hall. But Breece Hall wasn't enough. He also needed my 4th and 5th this year. Like, bro, what? Like,
you always want your side to have more things lined up when you're trying to get away with something like that. Like, he should be having all his thirds, all his fourths, all his fifths for Breece Hall alone.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, no. Sorry, man. I hope everyone gives him a little bit of advice over the next year and a half so he learns to
it's an analyst. It's an analyst.
Oh no, that's the worst because you're like, how dumb do you think I am? Like, do you you must think I'm an idiot.
Your view of me is so low that you think, you know what? Let's also get a 4th and 5th out of this.
It wasn't me, right?
No. Not this time.
Not this time.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps. Pete's
sorry.
Gonna
did we answer Peter's question about Drake May plus capital for Josh Allen?
Oh,
we did not.
What kind of? So for Drake May, let's look at
what is it? What does he have?
Let's see. Let's look at the. Does Drake May not? Okay, there we go. So he has 106, 206, and both 2026 and 2027 first. So what kind of draft capital would you want on top?
106 and his 27 first.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And well, yeah, I'm good with that. His running backs are not great. And you're taking his 106. So hopefully by 2027, he's looking to rebuild or is a mid team.
Yeah, I can see that being pretty good. Awesome.
Robert are best friends. I love it so much.
You should draw. Is that a forehead joke? Because I'll have you know that I actually don't have a large forehead, but it's because of the wide. Like, I have a wide angle lens.
Oh my god!
I love that we're making excuses now.
Trust me. Or maybe
I don't have a large forehead.
This might be the first time I found out, but I have a lot of siblings, and I feel like they would have told me by now. So.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the Roster Rescue Show. We will be back on Monday at noon to answer more of your questions and to make some fantasy goodness. Anything else you guys got?
We have updated rankings and our latest mock draft out on the website. So anyone who's looking for a little bit of extra advice or insight when you're doing your rookie drafts, you can see who we picked, why we picked them, who we considered around that same spot. I think it's a pretty useful tool. And It's just like all of our content for our written articles. It's free. So go ahead and check that out on dynastynerds.com.
Thanks
Pete,
for
anything
making
from you,
fantasy
buddy?
goodness with